Good morning everyone, welcome back to the Hearthstone ladder. My name is Rooster and we're playing Pirate Warrior today. So it's time to charge, of course. So, Pirate Warrior is probably the most aggressive kind of warrior you'll find on the ladder. As some of you might very well be aware. It's heavily based on getting early weapons out, hitting face a lot with those weapons. It has a mild pirate team. It's not as piratey as some of the warrior decks have been in the past. Getting some early minions in your mulligan is going to be important, as well as getting early weapons. I think I'll keep the Flame Juggler, even though it's not particularly great against Druid in all in all. But if our opponent starts out with, for example, I don't want to use that right now. I really don't want to. If our opponent, for example, starts out with a double living root, it could be nice. Any other occasion, probably just still throwing it out there. Just to get some presence, getting some stuff out on the field, and the War Axe with the upgrade next turn is still fine. Little curious as to what comes out here. Would it be worth the effort of killing that? That is a great question. It is not worth the effort of running the Horse Rider in, because if a 1-3 comes out, that's going to be pretty bad for us. Do we want to deal with a 1-3 in case we get the upgrade here? I guess the upgrade is still fine. And that does mean we can play a free Dread Corsair, which is pretty good. So I guess we'll hit this to avoid it hitting into the Dread Corsair. Well, that's a card. 3 1s. Do we want to trade the Dread Corsair in here? I don't know. We're still playing it. And I guess we're trading? I don't like it, but I would rather trade the 2-3 than trade the Dread Corsair, I think. That is quite an awful draw there. A 3-1 would mean, a 1-3 I mean, would mean that I would just go face. A 2-1 I could have traded into. Which would have been fine with the Dread Corsair on the field, so yeah. I don't know about that. Alright, so no time for a new weapon, I think. We're just starting to hit face, I think. We're starting to hit face pretty hard. If he wants to Wrath this, that's fine with me. I'm a little curious about what's going on with him here, but I suppose on low ranks there's... I suppose that on the lower ranks there's a lot to be expected here. I'm sorry, they're trying to hold the conversation here while trying to do commentary is kind of rough. Alright, that is really awkward. Let me think about that. Do I want to axe that Dire Wolf? Let me check for a new hero power at the very least. Want to armor up first? No, not interested in armor here. And in that case, Reinforce doesn't seem too great. Lesser Heal doesn't really do a whole lot. Let's go for Shapeshift. And in that case, do we still care about hitting minions? I don't really want to hit any minions right now, but it could still be the right choice. I don't know. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Let's go with this. Don't worry, love. The cavalry's here. Are we? Yeah, we're trading. if he wants to trade the Toad into the Ardent Horse Rider, that's fine with me.
Where shall I strike?
That is an awkward card to deal with right now. So I could have saved the weapon for that. Maybe I should have. I don't really have an execute right now. So no real easy way to deal with that. No way to deal with that whatsoever. So I guess we just armor up and pass. That's really awful, by the way.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
That is actually really awful. But yeah, the Dire Wolf came unexpected. I was expecting him to basically have to hero power with that. That is a good result for us, but I don't think we're too well off here. Doesn't really work. I think we basically lost. Is there any way to get out of this? I don't think so.
Well played. I choose death.
I don't think so. A lot of unexpected cards for a Druid, but a more aggressive Druid deck, I guess you could make that work. I don't know. But yeah, it happens sometimes. Mages should be better, although water elementals could still pose a problem. We'll have to see whether we're running into any of those. Still keeping the N'Zoth's first mate, I think. Mostly because having a pirate early is actually valuable, and getting the upgrade onto the Rusty Hook is also so not too bad. Not the worst early curve I've ever seen. And we'll have to see how this turns out. Not the ideal curve, but we'll deal with it.
Greetings.
Let's see what kind of mage we are up against. Expecting a mana worm here, which we would be able to deal with if we had a fiery war axe at least. Perhaps a double upgrade. We'll just have to let the pirate go, I guess. Is a little unfortunate, but at least we can change up our hero power here. For example, we'll have to go with Hunter here, don't we? We do. Can we please upgrade first? That is very likely the best course of action here. If he hits the mana worm into that thing, then we can kill it next turn, so I don't feel too terrible about going face here. That would be the most likely scenario, unless he has some kind of arcane missiles, which would be a little optimistic, I feel. But it could work. It could work. What does she have right here? On 3 mana, I would expect either an Arcane Intellect or a Roaring Torch. In most situations, we would be able to deal with that. So Arcane Missiles, and that likely means that she's trading into the Finley. But that just means that we can kill it with the weapon next turn, so that's fine with us. And we could play the Taunt, or we could charge Phase. And I think charging Phase is going to be the better play here, especially since we have the Fiery War Axe on hand, so there's the possibility of playing it for less in the next few turns. Kind of bad against Arcane Missiles again, but she did not use it last turn. I don't know whether that's a real indication of her not having it right now. She did draw 3 cards since then, so it could still happen, and Arcane Missiles would be a decent play over here. Maybe that's a reason why I should have played the Dread Corsair, but that would have been bad against Frostbolt or the like, so don't know about that. I don't feel too horrible here. I am going to replace the weapon here, I think. Although we could hit face with the weapon and play the Dread Corsair, but it's just giving it away for free, I think. Kinda don't want to do that. Although my turn is going to be a little empty if we just do this. And then hero power, I guess. That does allow us to play both of our other cards next turn, and the Dread Corsair is just likely to die to a Frostbolt at this point, so I'm in no hurry to get that out. Especially if our next turn is going to be as empty as this one. That is actually pretty great. So that means we can deal some more damage right here. And probably getting the damage in before we get frozen. Is it really important to keep a weapon around? I guess I actually would want to keep a weapon around in case we get something like an upgrade or a Blood Cell Cultist. Could be a little dangerous, but if she starts frostbolting face, then she's not frostbolting her minions. Alright. So we do still have the time to attack with our weapon. If we top deck a weapon, we would likely want to be able to use it. So I think this is the time we should start going face, because with 3 mana available next turn, well, it's unlikely we're able to top deck into lethal, but we're making a decent case for it nonetheless. That is a pretty good 1 mana minion to discover. Let's see. We just need a couple of hero powers to get the damage in. So I think just going face here is going to be the correct play. We could upgrade, but that feels really bad. Arcanite Reaper would give us lethal at this point, so I think wasting the upgrade here is not the correct play. Although it would be the same if we just upgraded here and attacked face. Then it would be the same result if we top decked Arcanite Reaper. So there could be situations in which it's correct to go face at that point. I don't know. It would have given us lethal with the Mortal Strike actually. So there's an excuse. I didn't think of that. And at this point, we are dead to whatever the mage has, so we have to Mortal Strike this, and that also does feel really bad. Okay, so we made a mistake there, because we would have had lethal if we upgraded face last turn, right? So she would be down to 7, so I can hero power, attack face again, and then Mortal Strike. I should have counted that one out. That's really awful. Okay, so now we have to do this and just guess whether we'll be able to have lethal next turn. So even in the case of Arcanite Reaper, I should have just done this last turn. And that would have brought her down to... well, that would have been lethal, so there's no point in comparing that, but... That was most definitely a mistake. If we top deck any damage though, we basically win, but the chances of her having a fireball at this point are rather high. And that also kills us, right? That kills us in combination with any other spell. Alright. That is annoying. We could have had lethal there if I just counted that one out. Okay, let's chalk that one down to stupidity, right? It feels really, really bad about using the upgrade just for a 1/3 weapon, but I guess in that situation it made sense. It just didn't occur to me. Alright, but Tempo Mage could be awkward, I guess. But we made a really good case for killing her sooner rather than later, so I don't feel too horrible about this game, except for the misplay, so... no use in dwelling too much on that. How do I feel about Hunter? I think we're more aggressive than the average Hunter, so I think that's good for us. And this is a hand I would consider keeping. On the other hand, I like the Flame Juggler over the Bloodseal Raider if I don't have a weapon, so I will mulligan that one away to get a weapon. Playing the Southsea Deckhand first turn is definitely okay. Even against the Fiery Bat, we can force her to make the trade into it, so that's fine. So next question is not really a question. We're playing Flame Juggler and we're going face. Playing upgrade early game instead of a minion is never going to be the correct play. And her using quick shot here is absolutely a-okay with me. Now we don't have a weapon right now. Do we want to save it until we do? Now there's a question. We could just go for the upgrade. Probably Finley, I don't know about that. Let's play Finley and think about whether we want to upgrade or use our hero power here. If, for example, we got a Warlock hero power, I wouldn't hesitate to pick and then use it. And we're out huntering the hunter here, I think. So let's get that damage in, because we can still upgrade and Bloodsilk Cultist next turn. That is fine. I don't see a particular need to get a heroic strike in there. And using the upgrade right now doesn't really add too much, especially since we don't have any other weapons. So Animal Companion, is that the one I wouldn't want to see? It kind of is, but with the upgrade we can deal with that nicely. We could also heroic strike it down and then put down the Flame Juggler. The heroic strike is very efficient, and it does allow us to keep the minions around, so I am tempted to go for that one. It's better than... well, is it better than using the upgrade and then getting the Bloodsilk Cultist, hitting that, and then going face? We have a 3-4 and a 1-3. I think I like making use of the heroic strike right now, especially since it's not attached to a weapon swing. Although one could argue that I still need to make use of the weapon swings of the upgrade, so maybe the upgrade would have been better, I don't know. This is a little worse against Unleash the Hounds, that's for sure. Everything's vulnerable to Kodo, so that's not exactly my fault. Can we upgrade Bloodsilk Cultist, and then... no, we don't have enough mana to Dread Corsair afterwards. We could upgrade Dread Corsair, doesn't work, no. So we can't kill this minion, but we will... oh, we lost our pirate. In that case... that's really awkward. In that case, I think we just play an empty cultist and hero power. That feels really bad. But it does allow us to get the most board presence along with a hero power, which I think is valuable. And the upgrade could still be worthwhile later. I think that's fine. We have to start thinking about turn 8. Do we have to start thinking about turn 8? I don't know about that. Might not be all that relevant. We did lose the board at this point, so that is something to consider. That is not the worst draw, because we can Azot's First Mate here, upgrade it, and play the Dread Corsair, and still fit in the hero power, so that's pretty good. So with the weapon and the hero power, she's dead in 3 turns, but that's... yeah, so she has... I do need to squeeze in 2 more damage somewhere. And now the taunt comes down, and that's gonna be rough to deal with. Especially if this happens to be a freezing trap, which I'm expecting it to be. Is there anything we can do about that, though? Well, we can basically try to see if it's a freezing trap. It is not, so that's good. I'll happily attack into that thing. And do I want to save the Red Corsair? Is that important? It takes care of the Houndmaster, but I'm not sure how important that is. We can save it for next turn, although it does give us some extra time, so I guess that's fine. So the weapon plus the hero power kills her in 2 turns. Would expect it to be an explosive trap or a bear trap. Ooh, bear trap would be awkward, I guess. Bear trap would be kind of awkward. So let's keep that one in mind, because that's the real danger right now. Okay, so Mortal Strike basically wins. We don't have that, but... can we play around Bear Trap? I don't think we can play around Bear Trap, can we? So if we attack face and it's Bear, then we're pretty much dead, because that's 12 damage on the field. I don't know about that. If that's a Call of the Wild, then we're pretty much dead. But I don't think I can... If that's explosive, then we're taking 2 additional damage, then she has 2 more charges. We have to kill her in 2 turns regardless, right? I don't know. Do we have a decent chance if this is not... If this is not Bear Trap? I think we have to guess. So it's explosive, that's fine. We get a minion down. We could still very well be dead. If it's Call the Wild, then we definitely are, aren't we? No, wait, that's 5. That's 5 and 4. Oh wait, 5 and 6, that's 11. Yeah, so we're definitely dead against Call the Wild. Oh, unless she... Wait. That was a mistake. Weren't we dead here? We should have been dead there. We can't punish it, but we should have been dead that turn. Well, it appears Pirate Warrior is not the right choice today. Or perhaps I'm just playing really badly. I could have won against that Mage. I don't see how I could have won this game, although I don't think Hunter is that much of a bad matchup. It is a matter of her having the right tools to board control, but and being too careful with the Bloodsoul Cultist, I guess. That was actually kind of bad. Didn't I have the same problem when I last tried Pirate Warrior? Or I guess Dragon Warrior. I'm probably overthinking these aggro decks. I don't know. Keeping Finley in the opener is probably correct. It's probably correct. Getting a weapon early is pretty good. And let's see what kind of warrior we're up against. Going with the pirate first? I don't think we're going with the pirate first. And going with life tap to keep up the tempo, I think. Alright.
Greetings.
Let's see what our opponent is playing here. Could expect a coin into War Axe. In that case, I don't know. I actually don't know what would be the correct way to respond to that, but I think the correct way to respond to nothing is by Fiery War Axing his face. Pretty sure about that. So that means we can Dread Corsair next turn. And Hero Power, which is not awful, or equip a new weapon if we get a 1-drop. That's most likely going to be the course of action. So a more defensive warrior, at least. Could still be Tempo Warrior, but a more defensive-minded warrior at the very least. So let's go with the Dread Corsair here. Do we want to take out that Armor Smith? We might actually want to. Although she is reasonably... It's not unreasonable to think that he's going to run it into the Dread Corsair, so I guess I'm still okay with this. Do I have a weapon for the coming turn? I do not. Do I want to have the opportunity to kill off the Armor Smith next turn? Well, I'm not playing a weapon next turn, but I don't really care about keeping the option, I think. I could very well be wrong about this, again. Maybe I should have just killed it off. Would have given him 2 armor and taken away 4 damage right now. So he would be 6 points of health higher than he is now. I don't know about that. Using a heroic strike on the Armor Smith, is that worth it? I don't know. I'm thinking of Argent Horse Rider and then just ignoring it for now. Maybe just ignoring everything altogether. Not the most awful plan ever. I think we just need to start going face. We don't have a lot of good trades. We could have traded the Argent Horse Rider into the Ooze. The Ooze doesn't get a whole lot of good trades anyway, so I don't feel too horrible about this. He could trade both of them into the Argent Horse Rider. I'm basically expecting a Ghoul at this point, and that's going to be altogether pretty awful for us. Especially if he has another Blood to Ichor. So... Well, that is not the biggest problem, so that's good. So is he's just going face with that one, okay. Well, at least we do have this this Arcanite Reaper going on here. Do we want to preserve the Finley? That is another great question. I should have killed that Armorsmith. That Armorsmith is going to screw me up. Let me think. So we could just take 5, and that's probably okay. I don't hate playing Arcanite Reaper here and taking 5 to preserve 1 health on the Finley. Is that okay? Taking 3 more damage to have a 1/1 on the field, that's probably fine. That is probably fine. So let's see about this. Do we kill off any minions here? I don't know about that. I don't have a great kill on the Armorsmith anymore. So I am thinking whether it would have been a good idea to kill it earlier, and I guess it would have been. Although I may not have had an opportunity to kill the Blood of Brave easily now. May have had to waste the Divine Shield, because I'm thinking I would have traded the Finley into the Armorsmith and then used the Axe on it, but that does mean that Finley would have been on 2 health, and he would have likely traded the 2/2 into the 1/2 Finley. So that's a possibility. He's still doing that. Okay, so next time we have a 1 damage ability, we are killing that Armorsmith, but for now I don't feel too horrible about my decision. Let's think. He has 5/8 damage on the field, that's fine. As long as we don't give him any additional minions, I think I'm okay with how this is going. We could go for the Strangleturn Tiger. Then we have 7 mana next turn, which should be... Well, if we deal 5 right now, that means he's down to 14. The next turn we can deal 9. We can deal 15. So as long as he doesn't armor up, we kill him next turn. That is a bit of a pipe dream, I think. I'm pretty sure we're attacking face here, but... yeah, I think Tiger is going to be the best option. He is going to armor up next turn, but that's fine. We'll just have to kill him the turn after that. So basically a 2-turn clock at this point. Really hoping for no other Bloodhoof Brave. That would be really awkward. A Whirlwind is actually not that disastrous. He could play another minion and then a Whirlwind. But that at least means that the Armorsmith dies. So as long as that other minion is not another Armorsmith, I guess I'm okay with that. If the other minion is that, then I guess I'm still fine with that. I don't know. So he's turning on the aggression here, but he's not armoring up, so I think that means he's dead, right? We have 5 on the field, and we have 10 in hand, so that means he's dead, alright. We won our first game, hooray! Hooray! Alright, well, yeah, you do have to maneuver on your toes every time. Not killing that Armorsmith, I don't know how much armor did he really get from that, because the Armorsmith did gradually die down. So killing that would have cost me, well, I think it's a wishy-wash for this game, but that minion is so much more dangerous than it seems. I keep underestimating it. Let's give it one more game, guys. Especially since I'm probably, well, maybe 2, depending on how fast it goes. Warlock is generally okay-ish, I think. It shouldn't be too terrible. Getting an early minion out is good. Just getting an upgrade is actually not bad against the Warlock. If this is a Zoo Warlock, I'll probably clear out a couple of his minions. Just with a 1/3 weapon. It's basically a worse Light's Justice, and that's not terrible.
Greetings.
Especially if he, well, there's no real vanilla 1/1s that a Warlock would play, right? So that is going to trade into our 2/1, and that's sad but true. Not much we can do about that. Voidwalker coming down. Well, those are both 1/1 minions that we cannot remove with an upgrade. So in that case, I think we just go face. Do we upgrade even? I don't want to get the heroic strike in there. I don't know about that. This is always going face because he's going to make the trade regardless. And the weapon, do we need the weapon right now? That does allow us to play the Dread Corsair next turn, so I guess that's not unreasonable. Let's just do it this way. I see no need to finish off any of his minions because they're just going to survive until next turn regardless. He's just going to trade with the other one, is basically what I'm trying to say. And I do need to rush this Warlock down because I can't possibly gain any board control off of that. So with that, I think, well, I'm really sorry about wasting that upgrade, first of all. But playing the Dread Corsair is not all bad. And I can kill the Argent Square now, so I think I probably should. That's going to be more relevant than dealing 1 damage to the Warlock's face. So he will have a decent way of dealing with this, especially with the Mortal Coil, but that's... well, let's see what else he has to show for himself. Double Voidwalker is going to be really awkward. Especially if we don't have any minions to contest that with. Do we just keep hitting them? I guess we do just keep hitting them. Let's hit them, equip a new weapon, and see where we go from there. It does buff the Berserker up to a decent enough level that it challenges the Voidwalkers on the field. It's likely just going to die to with a power overwhelming, but we can't know that he has that on hand, so either that or, well, a +2 damage effect doesn't do the trick, so needs to use a power overwhelming here. And gets a juggle at the end of his turn. Does not take the risk, just trades into that thing. Alright. I would have loved an upgrade just about now. That would be really nice. Well, this might look a little awkward, and let me tell you, it actually is. So... would our best option be to heroic strike one of those Voidwalkers, or Arcanite Reaper it, or kill it with the Rusty Hook and this thing over 2 turns? I'm afraid that will have to be the answer. I don't like it too much. But you can probably imagine why. He could trade the Voidwalker in, or just try to do juggle into it. That's the more likely solution. Doesn't have to be scared of Warwound effects against a deck like this either, so... what else is coming out? I have only dealt 3 damage to his face this whole game. That is not a good sign. Let me tell you, that is not a good sign. And we only have 1 weapon swing and 2 other weapons to add to the misery here. Let me think about this. So we could Cork Run into this thing and then kill the Knife Juggler. We kind of can't. We would have to hit into this and then kill the Knife Juggler. That could work. We've pretty much lost this game already, didn't we? So that always happens, and can we leave any of this alive? I don't like the prospect of that, but I think we have to kill the Juggler. We could just start going face. Is that the way to win this? Because he has 7 damage on the table. I don't think we can win that way. So I guess this is going to... We already attacked this turn. Oh well, we basically lost this one. Well played. Of course we already attacked this turn. Why did I not remember that? How does this deck even win? I've played against this deck, and if it curves out it can be rather strong, but it does not look like a deck you want to play on the ladder right now, let me tell you that. You really need to start out with a strong curve here, and against our past few opponents that just didn't work out. Maybe it's just a matter of luck, and maybe we're overthinking it. Maybe you just take your losses and roll with it. Do we keep the Finley against the Shaman? I guess it's not unreasonable. Would like to have a Pirate to work with the Bloodsail Cultist, but the Bloodsail Cultist is an awkward card like that. You want to have a Pirate and you want to have a weapon, so it's basically made to work with the Nizot's First Mate. And if you don't have that to start out with, then it's going to be rough to activate it on turn 3. So not holding out too much for it. It's a good late game top deck if you do have a Pirate and a weapon. I don't expect that card to activate a whole lot. We want to grab the Steady Shot here. Sure. So Finley is not unreasonable against an Argent Squire, at the very least. Next question, of course, is going to be, are we trading into that? And I will say I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's going to be correct to trade into the Divine Shield, isn't it? So what are we playing next turn? I think we're just curving Bloodsail into Bloodsail. How about that? And not doing anything with the weapons yet. We're not going to activate this anytime soon, so let's just do it this way. If we get a weapon that we would like to upgrade and we have a Pirate on the field, then the Bloodsail Cultist is fine, but I don't mind dropping it on turn 3 just as a 3-4. That is still fine. Now that is a decent top deck, I will say. So that means we cannot actually combine it with a Heroic Strike. So we could Heroic Strike here and not do much else. I kinda like just trading into that thing. That means the Ardent Squire likely trades into this, but that's okay. We can upgrade the Fiery War Axe next turn, but only if the Bloodsail survives, which it won't. Yeah, things are going to be a little awkward here. We don't have anything to combine with the Heroic Strike, so I guess Fiery War Axe will have to do. If we get a Pirate next turn, then we can make it work. I think we do have to trade into this just to make our weapon work for us next turn. Turn looks a little empty, I will admit. But his turn is not going to be too spectacular either, because he's overloaded for 2, so I guess that's kind of okay. So trades that, makes another totem. The more totems he has on the field, the more likely it is for him to actually get a taunt totem most of the time. So we do want to get some of our minions out. Getting the Cork Run actually allows us to kill both of the totems, or just kill this totem and then go face, perhaps. I think that's a little too greedy. We just have to benefit out of this right now, and then we can Cork Run next turn and probably do something meaningful. It's probably fine. He has a 1 in 3 of a taunt totem right now, so it's probably okay. The real danger of playing against a Shaman with an aggro deck is that at some point he will have the other 3 minions out, and it means his hero power becomes 2 mana summon a taunt. And that's actually not going to be too good. So the spell power kind of screwing us over here. Well, at least the 3-1 survives, so that's something. So we have to kill the Trog here, pretty much. But that's okay. I'm fine with killing the Trog here. Do we weapon up again? I kinda don't want to. Let's just go for this here. And I don't mind losing 1 damage to keep the 3/1 alive. Spell power does not really matter too much, aside from the Lightning Storm, but if a Shaman deck is playing Lightning Storm, the chances of them running Lightning Bolt are greatly diminished. So I would be okay with that. That is... what are you? Okay, yeah. Yeah, that kind of works. You could think of that as a lucky break for him, but it still does not allow him to trade into this one next turn, as long as we kill this. I think I just want to kill both of his minions and play this one. That would involve playing the Heroic Strike here. I think I'm okay with that, sure. So that means this goes here, and face goes here. And that one goes face. There we go. Okay, 7-4 on the field, that's pretty good.
There is a lot.
So a new weapon next turn. Do we have to kill that? I don't know whether we have to kill that. That's kind of annoying. Do we have a way to kill that? We do through the South Sea Deckhand. Oh, and if we upgrade the Arcanite Reaper, then we can actually kill that properly. Can we just kill him this turn? We have 11 damage, we have Arcanite Reaper. So if this runs into this, then we now have 9, that's 13, that is lethal, there we go. Alright, well sometimes this deck can win, as you've seen, but would I recommend it for the current ladder? Probably its matchups are too binary, too dependent on hitting that sweet curve. So would go with another warrior deck if you have one available, of course. Would recommend another Bloodsail Cultist, but don't overrate the card. It's just a 3/4 for 4 most of the time. Getting a weapon and the pirate out at the same time probably means you're already winning, but snowballing a winning situation into a win is actually worthwhile. So take that as you may. Have some fun on the new ladder. I'll be experimenting with some decks we haven't seen in a while in the coming few days, so look forward to that. If you have any suggestions on what deck to play next, please leave a comment below, and as always, have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.